Guys, this one's about how I met my wife and some of the wild adventures that we've been on, and they're coming up right now. Things were looking good. I've got this successful diamond business. I've got some other businesses going on. I got some money rolling in. I got cars and stuff like that and nice things. And, I ended up getting a condo right across from my work. So my commute was I just walked to work, the pool table in it and everything. And it was supposed to be my bachelor pad, A lot of people would say, oh, dude, you're a diamond dealer. You must, pick up tons of women. I wouldn't tell them. If I met anybody in a bar, I wouldn't tell them I'm a diamond dealer. Like I had this thing about them being a gold digger or something. I told them I'm a plumber. And if, that was good enough, then they were good enough to, to date. So then I met this girl. I met her online. I basically just said, congratulations. She's like, for what? I figured that out. If you could say something that makes them, gets their interest, be like, well, wait, what is he, for what? So most people would answer if you said that, for what? And I'm like, you have just won a dream date with me. And smite the face or, something like I'm just joking. Obviously, I'm not anybody's dream date. She's like, oh, yeah, it was funny, whatever. And we ended up going out. And, man, I fell for this one. I fell for this one hard. Well, first of all, she was like the female version of me. It was like dating a guy. I'll get more into that, except she's female and hot. I'll get more into that in a little bit. So I have this thing, I don't hold back in a relationship or in life. I like to live life, have fun. I don't like to hold back. You might have a relationship that's, it's on fire for like 2 months and then it just kind of peters out, or maybe, you have a 6-month long relationship that just you jumped into and it was, you weren't afraid to say, I care about you or I love you or, you just live life to the fullest. Now, maybe it only lasts 6 months, but you know what? You don't go on vacation to Hawaii because you got to come back, so you don't want to go. You still go and have fun while it lasts. And, I'd rather have, 2 months of the best relationship I've ever had than 6 months of a mediocre relationship and it doesn't last anyway. So why not? You know what I mean? Maybe it lasts, maybe it doesn't last, but at least you had a good time and you enjoyed life, So that's kind of like what it was, with this girl. I've had a few of those. Those are my best ones were like that. I didn't hold back on anything and, neither one of us did. So with this one, from the day we met, we saw each other like every day for like 2 weeks. And it was great. And then I had to go to a jewelry convention in Las Vegas. And I'm like, I got to do this. And she's like, well, I just got a new job. She had just started a new job. It wasn't a great job or anything. It was just like a secretary at a body shop. But, she's like, well, I just got the job, so I don't want to lose the job. I'm like, well, if you can swing it, then fine. I'd like you to come, and it'd be cool. We go on vacation for who meets and then just goes right on vacation to Vegas, So she asked her boss said, all right. And it was just supposed to be for a week. We get on the plane. This was right after 9/11. I have been not wanting to fly since 9/11. Okay. I was nervous about it because I was going to fly. And I thought, well, she would help me get over it because, my mind would be on her and I just wouldn't be thinking about that or whatever. And, well, we got these last minute tickets and they were horrible tickets. The plane was completely filled up and they were all the way in the back of the plane, like the second to last row in the back where you get all the vibration in the tail. I don't like to sit there ever anyway. I usually like to sit as far forward as possible. But what happened was the plane was delayed for like 2 hours. Finally, this guy comes walking down the aisle and he was big. I mean, look, he was a big guy. Where did he sit? Right next to us. There was like one seat there. And we were thinking, okay, there's one seat open. No, he sits right next to me. and he smelled horrible. And I swear he was so big, when he sat down, the plane kind of went like that because it was the very last, almost the very last row in the back. I swear the plane dipped. I don't think it was my imagination. He's that big. I've never heard a pilot call out a passenger before. But he says, okay, the guy that we were held up waiting for finally boarded, so now we can leave. So obviously we all knew it was him. We're all going to do it. And by the way, I hate to, racially profile, but this was right after kind of 9/11 was still fresh in everybody's mind, and he was like a Muslim guy. Not like a, turban wearing and all that, but, you could tell he was Muslim, and he was big and huge and fat and smelly, and just hadn't showered probably in like 2 weeks. I hated it. I didn't want to sit next to him. And I looked at her and I'm like, you know what? I can't do this. I can't. All these factors are pointing it's bad karma. I can't do this. It wasn't because he was Muslim and 9/11 just happened. It might have had something to do with him smelling very bad, very bad. It might have had something to do with him like crowding my seat. He was overflowing his seat into my seat. And I was just nervous already about the flight, and sitting there for like an hour and a half didn't help at all. It made me, I was getting more nervous the whole time. Like, what is going on? Are they looking for a bomb? Are they looking for somebody's suitcases or whatever? Is there a malfunction with the plane? I had been on a plane before that malfunctioned. It lost its hydraulics and we had to go down and make like a almost crash landing. And so I was a little bit scared to fly. So I'm like, you know what? I can't do this. I can't do this. So we got off and left the luggage on the plane. Was already, on the plane. They wouldn't let me off because they already closed the door. And I'm like, well, you're going to have a big problem if you don't let me off, because I'm going to start freaking out. So they let me off. And right across from, it was at Midway Airport, right across from Midway Airport was a place that is a pilot training center. And I was actually going there taking pilot lessons. And because I do have a fear of heights if I'm like standing on a ledge or something like that, but I don't have a fear of actually being in a plane because it's high up. I think it's a control thing. I get claustrophobic. I don't like it. I know that if you're in a small private plane and you need to land, you can just find the nearest airport and go down, but a big commercial plane, they're not going to go down just because you're having a panic attack. Where remember, I get panic attacks now, all the time, and I'm dealing with that. So we went to this place where I was taking lessons, and I talked to the owner and I said, hey, we're supposed to be in Vegas. My plane just left and we got off. I explained the situation. He's like, well, you can get some hours. I can get some hours logged in, let's go. I'm like, cool, let's go. So, we took a private plane there. It actually took longer than we thought, because you can only go so far and you got to stop every so often and gas up. And then if it's really hot out, you have to wait until the temperature goes down a little bit, because the plane won't take off. If it's too hot, you have to calculate the weight of the plane and the length of the runway and the temperature and everything. If the temperature is too hot, you have to wait. So it took a while. We got there, no problem. Getting back was a problem though. And also, we're there and we're in Vegas and we did the convention. The convention's over. We wanted to stay. We wanted to stay longer. And she ended up calling her boss and saying, hey, things got delayed, whatever. We're staying, we're going to stay a few more days, whatever. And well, a couple more days turned into a couple more days, guys, when I go on vacation, I like to go for a while. I don't like to just go for a couple of days here and there. We can do that. That's fine. But I do prefer to go on a longer trip. And I like to not be rushed to get back. That's why I like driving trips, because you can just kind of meander on your way back and let's stop here. Let's go there. It's more fun than just, you go straight back. You go there, you go straight back. You're back to work like in 3 days. I don't like that. Finally, her boss was like, look, I'm going to have to let you go because, you just started the job. Then you took off. It was only going to be a week. Then it ended up being a week and 2 days. Then it ended up being a week and 4 days. Now you're going to say it's 2 weeks. I'm going to have to let you go. So I'm like, look, I could probably find a job for you, at the jewelry store, or something, and we'll figure something out. So she's like, okay, fine. So, we did that. So now we get back, and she's, gonna start working for me, at the store. And that worked out good, because she was a good worker. She was a good, she's good with the customers. I found out is she's a good bullshitter. So probably like me, I told you she's like a sort of a female version of me. And so she's really good at sales. People, right away, like her and trust her. And so she was good. I was training her to be a manager. I liked it because we were hanging out a lot. Some people can't handle it if being in a relationship, with somebody who you work with or you're with all the time. But I just think you're with the wrong person if that's the case. If I'm with the right person and the person I'm supposed to be with, I want to spend all my time with that person. I don't mind if we work together, we do things together. If there's something I want to do, there's nothing I could do that isn't better doing with somebody I care about. I mean, anything I could. Jet skiing, better with two, right? If I'm going to go play pool, it's better with two, right? I mean, anything you could pretty much think of is more fun with somebody you care about, especially if you love the person. So, I thought it was great. We were hanging out, during the day at the office, at night, whatever. I had this new bachelor pad that wasn't a bachelor pad for long, because then almost right after I got it, I met her. In a relationship, when I'm in like a long-term relationship, I'm not going out to bars all the time. But when it's new, you're still going out. I mean, of course, you still go out if you've been out for a while too, but you just do other stuff. You do more couple-friendly things. You don't need to go to bars because you don't need to go to a meat market. You already got somebody. It's like bringing sand to the beach. You know what I mean? Unless you just like drinking, and I'm not a big drinker, and she wasn't a big drinker. So, but in the beginning we were, and we were going out, whatever. So we went to a bar called Crobar, which was a really hot bar, in Chicago. Her friend was like the VIP girl there, and she got us a table for free, and she kept bringing us shots over. And so we're getting kind of wasted, and her sister showed up. And her sister was pretty good looking too. They were both blondes and good looking. One thing led to another. We're all dancing together, like the three of us, me, her, and her sister. And all of a sudden she goes to her sister. She's like, "Hey, you should kiss Mike. He's a good kisser. You should check it out. Just kiss him." So I didn't know any better, so we kissed. Next thing you know, the three of us are kissing, we're dancing, we're grabbing each other, whatever, things are going good. Like, I'm like, okay, yeah, all right, I can get into that. So things are going good. We go back to my place. We're all making out. I started making out with her sister a little bit, and then we looked over at my girlfriend, and she's asleep. She fell asleep on the bed. So we looked at each other like, should we keep on going or what? And I didn't know, because, I'm thinking, the only thing I'm thinking is, okay, she works at my jewelry store. She has access to the safe. If she gets pissed off at me, she could really screw me hard. She could rip me off, whatever. There's lots of things she could do to get me back that would hurt me. So I better not do anything that's going to, piss her off. So I'm like, well, maybe we should stop. Next time if she's a part of it, we can, continue where we left off, whatever. The next morning she woke up and she's like, "Why didn't you keep going? Like, why didn't you wake me up and let me join again?" She was totally cool with it. Well, I didn't know you'd be totally cool with it. I didn't know that. I didn't want to take that chance, Well, it turned out she was really cool with, that, and she actually liked girls. So we'd go to bars, and like I said, it was like being with your best guy buddy. You say, "Oh, look at the butt on that one. Look at the ass on that one. Oh, that one's hot. And and then she would go and talk to him. She'd do all the work and bring him back, and, "Hey, this is Mike." Then we'd hook up. So I'm like, can't go wrong with that. That's a pretty good perk. Well, when we were in Vegas, we were just, kind of walking down the strip, and then you see that little like church thing, where people get married in Vegas all the time, like spur of the moment, spontaneous thing. So we looked at each other like, should we do it? We didn't pull the trigger on that one, but we told each other, hey, if we're still, together in a couple years and we're going to actually get married, we'll come back here and do it. Like, we'll do it here. And that's actually what we did. I think it was 2 years later, whatever it was, a couple years later, we went back and actually got married I went to the show again, and then I went to, we were staying at the Venetian. So we got, married at the, gondola thing and whatever, all that. It was good. It was nice. And actually, I dropped a bunch of cash at the casino, like a dumbass. And but they comped the whole wedding because I dropped so much at the at the thing. Plus, I was there with the jewelry convention, so they knew. So they gave me like a $35,000 wedding comped. So that was cool. I didn't know it was later that was going to be the worst thing that ever happened to me. But at the time, it was a good thing. She was great. I mean, she had some problems. Like I could tell that, I knew that she was, she quick-tempered. And then, I try to be patient and calm, whatever, but I can only take so much. And then I want to fire back, And so one time I threw a burrito. We went to a burrito place that we go to all the time. I threw my burrito at her in the hallway, not at her, just at the wall, and it hit the wall and splattered all over the place. At the hallway in my condo, But after a while, she got a little bit better. She would, contain it a little bit better, and I thought, well, this is good. She's trying. I'm trying. We're both, we're making this work. When we got married, I didn't have any regrets at all. I didn't have any even second thoughts. I didn't second guess it at all. I didn't have a bachelor party because I didn't need one. I'm like, she's everything I need. And being with her is like one bachelor party every night we went out. So, I mean, it's, I married the person I wanted to spend the rest of my life with. And that's how I thought it was going to be. Well, guys, if you liked hearing about how I met my wife, you'll love hearing about how we got divorced. I'll put a link up right here. Well, guys, if you're still watching, you must have liked the video. And if you did, give it a like. Now, if you want to see more like this, subscribe and click the bell. If you got some extra time on your hands, why not watch another one? You can choose one from the Stories of My Life playlist, which will appear here after I disappear. Or you could watch the next one in the series, which will also appear here. See you in the next one.